We're finally up to date on the latest earnings cycle, and that means it's time for us to dig into some recent economic studies and M&A deals that we were forced to put on the back burner due to how busy we were with earnings. Today's target is an Americas-focused producer whom is leaning heavy on growth right now as they look to add another asset to their production base. Let's dive in. Don't miss the Rural Symposium for Natural Resource Investing happening July 7th in Boca Raton. If you can't make it in person, that's not a problem. You can get your ticket to watch live online or on demand. We'll be there with the deep dive, so if you make it out to Boca, come say hi at our booth. If you want to sign up, click on the link in the description to get your pass. Aura Minerals last week released a preliminary economic study for the Dorada gold project, which they obtained earlier this year via the acquisition of Bluestone Resources for $74 million in cash and stock. Previously known as the Cerro Blanco gold project, Dorada is found in southeastern Guatemala, just 9 kilometers from the border with El Salvador. Encompassing 15 square kilometers of claims, the project is a bit of an anomaly for the region, which has experienced no prior mining in the area. Formerly owned by Goldcorp, the project was optioned by Bluestone in 2017 before being acquired by Aura. Over 160,000 meters of drilling has occurred at Dorada over the last 2 decades, alongside 3.4 kilometers of underground development conducted by Goldcorp as part of a comprehensive exploration program. If you're Aura Minerals, who laid out 26 million Canadian dollars in cash for the acquisition of the property alongside the stock component, that's some fairly cheap exploration that was risk-free for them, especially considering that field work resulted in a mineral resource estimate of 3 million ounces of gold at 1.5 grams per ton and 13 million ounces of silver at 6.6 grams per ton within the measured and indicated category. Those ounces are said to be contained within a near-surface low-sulfidation epithermal gold-silver deposit, which features high-grade vein and low-grade disseminated mineralization. For those too lazy to do the math, it equates to Aura paying sub $25 for each ounce of gold in the ground, with those silver ounces being the free kicker. And the project obviously was ready to move into the PEA stage upon acquisition. Let's take a look at that. All right, under the current model, Aura Minerals is envisioning the Dorada project as an underground operation with a life of mine of an initial 17 years. The current model expects a total of 1.4 million ounces of gold to be pulled out of the ground over that time frame, which averages out to about 82,000 ounces a year on a straight line basis. But those ounces are a bit front-loaded, with production expected to average out to 91,000 ounces a year over the first 4 years. We should also note here that while Dorada was said to have a resource of over 3 million ounces of gold at the time of acquisition within the measured and indicated category, if you haven't caught on yet, that was an open pit resource. This study was only conducted on underground resources, which amounted to 1.9 million ounces of gold in the indicated category at an average grade of 9.3 grams per ton using a 2.25 gram per ton cutoff. There's also a further 5.1 thousand ounces of measured gold at an average grade of 5.35 grams per ton, estimated to be contained in stockpiles that were created during the construction of that prior underground development. In other words, there's quite a bit of gold here at Dorada. The part we obviously haven't covered here is the dollar side of the PEA. Under the current model, initial capital costs, or as Aura refers to them, initial implementation capex, is expected to come in at $264 million. While no information was provided on expected sustaining costs, average cash costs on a per ounce basis are expected to average $10.72 per ounce of gold produced. At $24.10 per ounce of gold, the net present value of Dorada is said to be about $485 million, alongside an IRR of 24% on an after-tax basis using a 5% discount rate. The payback period, meanwhile, is estimated at 3.5 years. Well, no MPV was provided for the current gold price. The sensitivity table included within the release suggested that at $28.92 an ounce gold, the after-tax net present value climbs to $800 million, while the IRR jumps to 34%. All right, so let's wrap it up. While the announcement of the PEA was welcome, admittedly, the news release was short on details. No AISC was mentioned, it's unclear what the technical life of mine average annual production is, and we don't know much about the processing side of things either. Yes, this information will be in the technical report whenever it is filed, but these things are normally included in the news release. We don't even really know what the next steps are here. For what it's worth, we reached out to Aura upon the release of the PEA news, and while they were responsive, it admittedly was a bit of a boilerplate response. Aura told us that next they intend to advance the project towards a detailed feasibility study, but they haven't disclosed which project they intend to push forward into production next. And they have a bit of optionality on that matter, considering they're about to close on the acquisition of Sierra Grande, which will be the second acquisition this year. That being said, growth is growth, and Aura is well on their way to becoming a mid-tier producer, with the company calling for production of 450,000 ounces of gold per year sometime this decade. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If there's stories that you want us to cover, as always, let us know in the comment section. Also, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Guys, we've also got lots of coverage on mining news and the macro themes that surround mining over on our website, TheDeepDive.ca. So if you're looking for more information, go there and check it out. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching.